Most people don't realize how many things can quietly reduce the value of their injury case. They assume it's all about how bad the accident was. But the truth is, insurance companies look at way more than just that. I'm Pablo Tamayo, personal injury lawyer here in Florida, practicing almost 2 decades. And I've seen cases drop by tens of thousands of dollars because someone missed one of these key details. This video walks you through the 5 basic factors that actually drive the value of your settlement, so you can take control early and protect what you're legally owed. Because when you know what really matters, you're not just hoping for a fair result. You're making sure it happens. So what really impacts your personal injury settlement in Florida? Let's talk about something most people don't understand until it's too late. What actually determines how much money you get after an accident in Florida? Whether it's a car crash, a fall, or any serious injury, there are 5 big factors that decide your outcome. And if you don't know what they are, you're playing a dangerous guessing game with your health, with your money, and with your future. So let's break them down one by one. Number 1, the severity of your injuries. The number 1 factor in your personal injury settlement, your injuries, how serious they are, and how clearly you can prove it. Picture 2 people. One sprains a wrist in a grocery store. The other gets T-boned in a crash, breaks their leg, and needs a surgery. Who gets the bigger settlement? Setting aside liability for a moment, it's usually the person with the most severe injuries. In Florida, insurance companies and courts, they'll look at your medical records. Did you have any ER visits, any surgeries, your rehab, any injections, your pain levels? Did you lose any time from work? How has your life been affected day to day? Let's say you work construction and you injure your back. If you're out of work for months and your doctor says that you have a permanent injury, that's not just a back injury. That's lost income, lost career potential, ongoing pain and suffering, and obviously your case value is going to go up with those things. And so who's at fault is another thing. And can you prove it? Fault. Who actually caused the accident, and can you prove that they caused the accident? Do you have evidence to support your story? That's crucial. Photos, witnesses, police reports, security or dash cam footage. Let's say you've been rear-ended at a red light in Miami. Seems simple, right? The other driver was at fault. He hit you from behind while you were stopped in traffic. But what if the other person claims that your brake lights weren't working, or that you slammed on the brakes suddenly and you cut them off? Now the insurance company might argue you were partially or fully to blame. And Florida follows something called a modified comparative negligence. That means if you're 20% at fault, your settlement gets cut by 20%. 100,000 damages, you only get 80,000. So what's the takeaway? The more clearly you can prove the other person was at fault, the higher percentage recovery, and the less they can argue you caused or contributed to the accident. The quality of your evidence is number 3. Your case is only as strong as the evidence you have to support it and to back it up. Think of it like building a wall. Every piece of documentation is a brick. And so that's medical records for your visits, your diagnosis, photos of your injury, property damage, what the scene looked like, statements from witnesses, co-workers, or your family, receipts for the cost of medication, therapy. If you wait weeks to go to the doctor, if you can't prove you lost your income, if you don't document the follow-up treatments, insurance companies will use that to argue that your injury wasn't serious or it wasn't related to this particular accident. So the lesson here is simple. Document everything and start from day one. Now, the insurance coverage limits is another one most people don't think about. The amount of the insurance that's involved. Even if your case is airtight, even if your injuries are severe, you might only be able to collect what's available under the other person's insurance policy. And so say the driver who hit you only has $10,000 in bodily injury coverage, but your damage should be 10x that amount. Well, unless that other person has significant assets, which is rare, you're likely capped at that policy limit unless you have your own uninsured motorist. And the same thing goes for property owners in slip and fall cases. The insurance only covers $50,000. That might be your ceiling of recovery. That's why checking all possible policies is so important. The other party's insurance, your own underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage, which is hugely important in Florida, employer coverage, umbrella policies. Sometimes we dig when we find extra coverage that clients didn't even know existed. And it makes a massive difference in what they can potentially walk away with to cover their damages. So always know where the money's coming from, because no matter how good your case is, insurance coverage limits matter. Number 5, the skill and strategy of your own attorney. Last but definitely not least, the lawyer you hire can change your outcome completely. And so here's the deal. Insurance companies know which lawyers are ready to fight and which ones are just looking for a quick settlement to move on. They'll offer less if they think your lawyer won't push back. I've seen cases where people try to negotiate a loan before a lawyer and were offered $2,000 when their claim is worth multiples of that. They didn't know the system. They didn't know what to say or how to prove the full impact of their injuries and their damages. But we stepped in. We brought in medical experts or other experts. We built the case from the ground up and got them the real number, fair value for what they deserved in their case. So an experienced Florida personal injury lawyer knows what your case is worth, how to document and present it, when to negotiate and when to file suit, and how to find every possible source of compensation. So if you're hurt and thinking about just handling it yourself, ask yourself this question. Would you go to court alone if you were charged with a crime? I don't think so. When your health and financial future are on the line, you want someone who knows how to get you the results that your case deserves. So let's recap. The 5 factors that can make or break your settlement. Let's wrap it up. If you've been hurt in Florida, these are the 5 things that will shape your personal injury settlement for the value of your case. The severity of your injuries, who is at fault, and your ability to prove it, the strength and detail of your evidence, the insurance coverage involved, and the skill and strategy of the lawyer that you hire to represent you in your case. Each one of these factors can mean the difference between a lowball offer and real and fair compensation that covers everything you've been through. Don't miss this next video coming up. These mistakes that cost car accident victims from getting paid. If you've been in a crash or just want to protect yourself, this is a must watch. I'll walk you through the most common ways people ruin their own case without even knowing it. Click over now because one wrong move can cost you dearly. I'll see you over there.